Okay, now that we've racked the beer off into the keg or the bottles, it's time to do the harvesting. We've left the trub in the bottom of the fermentation bucket. We're going to take our boiled and cooled water and gently pour it in down the sides. I'm using about 1600 milliliters. I expect to end up with about 3 half-pint jars of mixture at the end. So after we pour this in, we swirl it up to get it all in suspension, let it sit for 15 minutes to let the trub settle out, and then gently pour the top part, or decant the top part, which is the yeast in suspension, into another container. Okay, now this has a chance to settle down and let the trub settle out of some of that suspension. I'm going to take the liquid that's in there and pour or decant the top part of it back into my Erlenmeyer flask. Then we'll set the Erlenmeyer flask up at a little angle and let that settle out again before pouring it off into 3 smaller containers to actually save the yeast. And again, we're going to let this sit for about 15 minutes before doing the next decanting. Okay, now this has had a chance to settle a second time to let the trub settle down some more and keep more the yeast in suspension. Now it's time to pour it off into my 3 prepared containers. These containers have been cleaned and sanitized, and they are ready. They've been left capped the whole time, and they are ready now to accept the slurry here. This is going to be mostly yeast that we pour into these, and I'm pouring right to the top to try and minimize the airspace in there. After all these 3 are poured, we'll put them in the fridge again, and I'll show you a picture of them after a little while of being in the fridge. So here they are all filled. Notice I spilled around some of them, that's fine. After sitting in the fridge for an hour and a half, here they are with the yeast having settled out nicely at the bottom. From here, we'll use starters to get this going for our next batch. Good luck with harvesting your yeast. It's really not as hard as you might think. Take care. And happy brewing!